Good afternoon. Welcome to our live video feed. We are Team 2 from the Servant Leadership class at Mercy College of Health Sciences, and we are involved with the community partner St. Vincent de Paul. My name is Kapil Brahmdut. You can call me Cap. With me here is
Jennifer Cox.
And we have...
And I'm Keegan Carson.
Okay, perfect. Before we start into our content, Jennifer, why don't we tell Dr. Joe why we're in the same screen?
Well, Dr. Joe, we are in the same screen and not separate like in the last one because we are at Mercy in one of the study rooms and the other ones are being used. So we didn't want to be disruptive in the main area of the library or another.
Yeah, and in the commons,
it can get pretty loud. They were having a pizza party or something out there, so.
And you didn't get a slice.
I didn't get a slice, and so
She's very angry.
I got a cookie. But that doesn't really serve as a good lunch. So, but yeah, so we're in the same screen, doing this little video today for you. Hope that's okay.
But we're all together, and we're all doing this video, and we're all gonna have fun doing this. We're going to start off by talking about the specific services or service that we are providing for St. Vincent de Paul, which is the community partner that we are volunteering with. And we are primarily concerned with, or we have been doing so far, childcare. Keegan, if you want to talk a little bit about your experiences so far with childcare, and I guess the purpose, and if you've made any of the kids cry yet, and so on and so forth.
Oh, Mia. She threw all the puzzles on the ground, and I said, "Don't do that." So she ran over to Amy and started crying.
That sounds like Mia.
Yeah, she just mixed them all together, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." A new little game for us. But I've been doing childcare for probably the past 8 weeks or so. And it's just one family that comes in on Thursday nights, and they have 2 children, Amy and Mia. Amy's probably like 3, would you say? Yeah. And Mia's 6 or 7. But both their parents are in the class, and we just play. I play with them for 2 hours. We do puzzles. Mia builds little forts, throws puzzles on the ground, throws all her other toys on the ground, but fun. I listen to them, see what they need, and that's pretty much it.
I will say they are. I've also watched Amy and Mia, and those 2 hours go by very, very quickly. Amy is an awesome.
They're very well behaved.
They are very well behaved. Amy.
Well behaved.
Except for Mia
But Mia's still well behaved for a 3-year-old.
She
is. She's 2, by the way.
Oh, she's 2. Yes,
hey, she's definitely well behaved.
Yes. And Amy, she's awesome at putting puzzles together. I thought I was pretty good at putting puzzles together, but she is
amazing.
She's amazing, and I think Mia. I think it might take 10 minutes to clean up after she leaves because she just throws things everywhere. So.
Then I guess I've been being mean because I had Mia help me put everything away before.
Once they were still playing when the mom came back in and she saw it and she was like, "Mia, pick everything up."
Yeah, the mom does help sometimes pick up stuff. So.
No, yeah, and I also on a couple different occasions I was with Mia and Amy. The first time that I was there doing childcare, their older brother Josh was there also. He's in 6th grade, and Mia was actually asleep, and we were afraid she was going to start bawling when she woke up. But she didn't, thank God. And Josh and I talked for almost a whole 2 hours about finances and we figured out how he can make $50,000 before going to college.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, I wish somebody talked to me about this when I was little.
They're smart kids.
They are. They're very, very, very smart. And their parents are the nicest people ever too. I mean, they're super happy. They're super thankful. and it looks like they're on the right path to do what St. Vincent de Paul is set up to do: help families and individuals, but primarily families, do something that's more than they're already doing to have a better quality of life, and that's really refreshing. And talking to Amy and Josh, they're normal kids. They don't necessarily enjoy school, but they understand the importance of school and what an education gives to them, which is nice that they're able to differentiate between, although I might not like this, I know where it'll take me in the future, which was a lot of people our age, I mean, they still don't get that. So I mean, that was super refreshing. And I've done childcare a couple of times. I've also volunteered a handful of hours at the thrift store on Army Post, and I'm looking forward to doing some more down there, and also potentially food pantry a little, but we'll see. We'll see what that brings.
So far, I've done the childcare, primarily childcare. I actually had the opportunity for the first time. I had signed up for food pantry, I think, a couple times before that, but when I got there, they were overly staffed for volunteers. So I decided to let them volunteer and either go to childcare or just go home. Last night, though, I actually had the opportunity to work in the food pantry, which was amazing. It was about 2 hours. The food pantry operates on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7. We probably served about maybe 15 families last night, and about, I don't know, I saw probably about 40 people come the pantry. My job was primarily to put bags together for either a family of 2. Well, each sack had items for a family size of 1 to 3, and then we would make bigger sacks for families that were larger. And then I put them in the sacks, put them in the carts, and then we had another volunteer person actually take them out to their car. I think it was definitely a great experience. I wasn't prepared to do food pantry last night, so I'm glad that I'm able to contribute this experience to our discussion today. Because, like I said, as of before yesterday, I was only able to do talk about childcare. So, and then I'm going to be doing food pantry again next Tuesday. And I will make sure that I wear the proper shoes because I have 5 blisters because I wore the wrong shoes yesterday. But it was a great experience, and I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Thank God I only have 2 pairs of shoes.
Yes, I was supposed to do childcare last night, and then they had canceled the class. And so Andrew told me to go check with food pantry. And I did, and they needed help because I think there was maybe only 3 volunteers last night. So it was a lot of running around, and I wore the wrong shoes. So I will definitely make sure I wear the right shoes next time. So anyway.
Okay, perfect. So we're done with what we've done so far. Mm-hmm. Next question that we can discuss is, what are we learning? Being at St. Vincent de Paul doing childcare, what are we learning as a servant leader? What are we learning about St. Vincent de Paul? What are we learning about interacting with kids? Keegan, you want to start that off for us?
With working with Mia and Amy, I feel like I've learned to listen and a lot of patience as well with Mia sometimes, because she'll throw a little fit and you just gotta handle her, and Amy doesn't care sometimes and just keeps doing her puzzles. So, but those 2, listening to if they need food, water, snacks, the bathroom, anything like that, to make sure they have that, and walk them to the restroom so they can use it and go back and all that, since there's still people coming in for food pantry at the time while we're having class.
Great. I think what I'm learning is I think I've been exposed to the families and the community that comes into St. Vincent. I tend to live in a bubble. I know work people and I know school people, And so working at St. Vincent de Paul,
It's like a whole other world.
it is. It's like, the families, I don't know, people watch the families that came in last night, and they're no different from, Cap or Tegan or anybody, but, it was just the exposure and feeling like I'm just learning about the other people in our community, the kinds of needs that they have. So I think I'm just learning about.
And it's crazy because, and I haven't done the food pantry yet, but from what I understand about it is, it's all types of people from every working class. I mean, they can be struggling really, really poorly. They can be middle class and they're just having a bad month. I mean, the flu and different types of viruses are going around right now. So if mom and dad are both out of work because of being sick, I mean, it might be a rough month for groceries.
Right. And everybody that came in was really respectful. All the volunteers last night were super respectful, treated everybody with respect. And I mean, that shouldn't even be a question, but I don't know. It was a great experience, and just seeing the different people that do need assistance in my community that I don't honestly even really. I knew that there were people that needed help, but it's different when you're around and being exposed and actually serving those people that you really get a true understanding and an appreciation for what you're doing, which is what I feel like I have.
Right. And then for me, being part of childcare and watching me and Amy, I feel like there's a lot that we can relearn from little kids, and it's crazy. Amy, she just sits down and she perseveres through those puzzles. I mean, after about a half hour, I would think I'm wasting time. I'd be like, okay, let's do something different. I get either bored or frustrated or fed up. But she has patience and she perseveres.
She'll do the same puzzle every time, and so she's probably done the same puzzle 6 times.
3 or 4 times.
Right.
And she does them all every class. The one time we didn't finish one, so we had a week of class off, and then we just redid it after that, and she left it on a piece of paper. She didn't even put it away.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then and like you said, Keegan, listening, and I know that was one of Greenleaf's principles. Figuring out word right now. Principles of a servant leader, and listening is huge. Talking to Mia and Amy, they were kind of Mia was getting a little tired of playing with everything, and she was done playing with everything. So we got out the chalk and we started drawing on the chalkboard, and next thing I know, I was teaching them how to draw little fishes, like on the chalkboard, underwater. And Amy's like, oh, that looks like fun. So she started drawing little things too. And we both tried to draw a rabbit. And mine was really, really bad. Hers was really, really good. And I was a little embarrassed about that. So in a sense, although it's not like, a super embarrassing situation, I mean, that almost I had to exercise, or I had a lesson in humility, because, I'm supposed to be perfect at drawing rabbits, according to her, and I just sucked at them. So I got a little bit of crap about that. But it's really cool, because the more I learn about St. Vincent de Paul, the more I realize that it's not necessarily always people who are in really, really bad situations in life. It's also people who are, just having a rough week, having a rough month. And it could be your neighbor, literally. It could be your best friend. You just don't know. And people have this idea that to be in that situation can be, humiliating or embarrassing, so they don't say anything about it. But the fact that St. Vincent de Paul is there, and you can go to the internet and look up, hey, where's a place around the area that can help me?
Yeah.
St. Vincent de Paul or one of the agencies that work, one of the community partners, will direct you to the appropriate place. So if St. Vincent de Paul is the appropriate place, you'll get directed there. And that's awesome because that leads us right into our next question, which is, how is our team project expressing and developing servant leadership skills? And
I think it's kind of, we just talked about it.
we kind of
We didn't answer those two
answered
questions.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first started this class, the question was asked, what type of servant leadership skills would you like to, work on? And one of mine was empathy. I think sometimes I feel I lack empathy just for people's situations that I may not understand or just don't know about. And I think, that was actually apparent last night when I did the food pantry. And just feeling, a sense of empathy for other people's situations, and, the fact that coming to a food pantry might be prideful for some people, but I didn't look at it like that last night. And that's kind of something a feeling that was kind of new to me. So I think, developing that skill is super important, especially
Kind of redefining your take
right. And just, like I said, I feel like I've kind of just lived in a bubble, and not that I didn't know that, there were needs in our community but I wasn't exposed to it. So I think serving at St. Vincent has already proven to be kind of life-changing already. So
yeah. Or for anything else you want to add about how our team project is expressing and developing servant leadership skills in your life, Keegan?
Kind of along the same lines, but I feel like just we're helping families that don't really get opportunities to do things, and we're just giving back to them so they can be afforded the same opportunities we've had, and it allows them to further themselves, which is nice. And we just have to give up our time to make sure they can do it.
And it's not a lot of time.
No,
it's only
not.
a
2 hours a week.
And if you have a dozen, half a dozen, 20 people doing this, that's for the whole community. That's not a lot.
mm-hmm. You want to talk about that?
So in playing with St. Vincent de Paul and understanding how St. Vincent de Paul works, one of the things that we talked about before was just understanding wholesomely how all of their different services work in the community. So they have, St. Vincent de Paul has the food pantry. They've got the classes, high-set classes that allow people to get, or individuals to earn their GED to get better jobs. They have
the thrift store.
Yeah, they have the thrift store, and then they also have social services. And the social services is really cool because if along the same lines of the classes, sorry, words are hard today. Along the same lines of classes, they have a social services department, so to speak, and what they will do is help families who are having a rough month pay bills, so like utilities, or maybe it's a car bill, or maybe it's a house bill, so they don't have to be kicked out of their house. And the nice thing about that program is it's still in the developing stages. They've had some success with it, but not as much as they would like. And I was talking to Andrew, and we are putting together a mentor program. So essentially what's going to happen is the individual or family who needs help for that week or that month will come in, we'll sit them down, we'll talk to them, we'll figure out what it is that they need, what they need financially, so they can have a successful month, successful week, whatever. And then we'll come up with an action plan. And the action plan is implemented or should be implemented by the individual or family that we're helping out. And then 6 months down the road, they're supposed to touch base with St. Vincent de Paul, and we're supposed to talk about, have we met our goals? What can we change if we haven't met our goals, so we can make sure we're not in a rough spot down the road. The initial part of, hey, I need help, I'll sit down with you, make an action plan, and you will help me. St. Vincent de Paul will help me with whatever financial situation I'm in. That's great. There are no issues there. The issue that is creeping up is 6 months down the road at follow-up. That doesn't always happen. And then, 8, 9 months down the road, they come calling again and saying, hey, I need help. And that's kind of frustrating for the people of St. Vincent de Paul, because they're doing their best to help these individuals, take control of their financial stability in their lives. But you've got to have responsibility and accountability from the families or the individuals who are getting this aid, getting this help. So we're working on we're in the beta version right now of a mentor program where after 6 months down the road, somebody from St. Vincent de Paul will reach out to you if you haven't reached out to St. Vincent de Paul, and we'll come back and we'll make sure that you know where you are, if you're on track with your financial life. And then after that, it'll help you, or we'll help you come up or revise your action plan. We haven't, St. Vincent de Paul hasn't started that yet. We don't really know what all the fine details are, but I was approached in conversation with Andrew to potentially spearhead this, which is super exciting. I wasn't expecting this by any means, but I think it's something that's important. And after a few conversations with Andrew, I believe that this is the correct steps to take as an organization such as St. Vincent de Paul to help the community not have, issues down the road. So we'll see what happens, but St. Vincent de Paul, or this class, Servant Leadership, it originally started out as, because I work at Mercy Medical Center, a lot of the principles of servant leadership have already been instilled in me. So I get that to a point, but there is so much more that I've been learning, and so much more that I want to do simply by being around and being, with St. Vincent de Paul. So this is an amazing opportunity, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So in terms of me growing, I feel like I've grown as a servant leader, and also I feel like it's definitely leading to opportunities to be a better servant leader in a practical way for families who not just need help or aid in the moment, but to help them on a better, more secure financial and life structure later on. Sorry, I was a little winded.
No, I think that's an awesome opportunity. I think.
Yeah, so
obviously, Andrew.
So apparently May is 6 months, so April is when the 6 months end. February, March, April, May. Yeah, so in May we will figure out the details of all this stuff.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
obviously, I know you've met with Andrew quite often, and so obviously, you've shown that that you're serious about your dedication to St. Vincent. So I'm glad that he sees that. I think that's awesome. I did want to point out, though, quickly, that we initially wanted to serve at St. Vincent because of the Young Parents Initiative program. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough people signed up for it.
Yeah.
So Dr. Joe, Andrew said that the next class probably won't start until May, and obviously that's after our the semester is over, but we are definitely going to keep in touch with him, and maybe if they have enough people next time, we'll definitely be involved with that. But I know that we originally signed up for St. Vincent because of this program, but unfortunately, they just didn't have enough people signed up. So we're providing services, volunteer work for the other services that they provide.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out, add that to our discussion.
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything.
We have covered everything. We did talk about.
We have met all our program objectives, except, well.
Are you talking about the advertising?
Yes, one of our objectives was to, I don't know if I have it, but one of our objectives was to kind of get
working on getting the word out to the community of St. Vincent de Paul and what they do, what they have to offer. After we were able to set up a meeting, but it was during when Keegan had classes, so you weren't involved in this meeting. But what we basically gathered from this meeting was people who need to know about St. Vincent de Paul know about St. Vincent de Paul through different community partners or agencies or organizations. What St. Vincent de Paul needs now are benefactors. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, like, people who can
help either with their time or financially,
right,
for the organization.
We talked a lot about the high school program.
Yes.
That there needs to be.
Which in the HiSET program is essentially, in the simplest terms, a program set up to enable individuals to earn their GED.
Right. So with the resources that, we don't exactly know where to distribute. There's a flyer for the HiSET program. We just don't really know where, and Andrew he didn't really list any specific places that we could maybe distribute these flyers to. We had talked about maybe putting them on bulletin boards and maybe like coffee shops areas,
right, and then also getting the word out to people in the community.
They already have a Facebook
of the HiSET program itself.
Right.
That was the biggest downside was
right.
if he didn't have enough students for the classes, there weren't
going to be any
for the class.
Right. So it looks like that our objective for getting the word out about it sounds like you said, people who need to know about it already know about it. They do have a Facebook.
Yeah, they have a Facebook page that kind of talks about a few of the things.
Right.
But his biggest concern now was we need help from the side of we need help financially. We need donations, and we need people to volunteer their time who have been through the system, who are educated, who have had the luxuries of learning and sitting down with somebody face to face and coming up with an individualized plan for that person, one-on-one instead of a classroom setting where this is where let me help you with going through this application, or let me help you with, what was he talking about? He was, let me help you with this application, or let me help you understand where your finances are.
Yeah.
I know I am definitely, even after this class, going to stay on with St. Vincent de Paul and hopefully be able to spearhead this mentor program or be a part of it, definitely. And anything else that I could do, it's just a couple hours, a week or every other week or wherever I'm needed. I like what they're doing, and I think it's where we should be headed in terms of helping the community. And they have a common sense. They're gaining a more common sense approach to it, in terms of trying to push people to be more responsible and accountable for their life, really, instead of enabling them with resources but not giving them the tools that they need, or the explanation of this is where we are, but this is where you should strive to be if you want to get up and be successful and happier in life.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
So I think
There was a big loud noise behind us, and we thought the TV was gonna
Yeah.
fall down on us or something.
But it would have hit Cat first.
Yes.
So there's that. I would have been safe. I don't know about him. Anyway, so I think we've kind of covered everything. I think we.
Anything else? Anybody else? Wow. Anything else? Anyone else wants to add?
Cap is working off. What is it?
3 hours of
3
sleep.
hours.
That was a
Sleep.
mouthful.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't have anything else to add.
You'll either see this video first, Dr. Joe, or get a really long-winded email from me first. One of the two. One of the two will happen, but we'll be on the same page pretty soon here. And then I think if everybody's happy with our discussion so far, I think we've covered everything we needed to cover. Any objections?
No.
All right, then it's a wrap. Once again, we are Team 2 of the Servant Leadership class at Mercy College of Health Sciences, Spring 2018. We are running on very little sleep, and I probably just made a fool of my whole group, so I apologize. I hope this was entertaining as well as informative for you, Dr. Joe. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, a group email, preferably, so we're all on the same page. And we'll go from there. All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.